Hey guys, this is the Lora frame from FlexRC, and this is actually the 3-inch version, and actually I think it was originally named the 2.5-inch version. I guess it was originally designed for 2.5-inch props, but as you can see here, these GemFan 3035 props, 3-inch props, fit on here perfectly fine, and with actually plenty of room to spare, although you can see that it does overlap the flight stack here when you go over it, so the flight stack does have to be lower than the prop, as you can see there. But as you can see, the height here is plenty clear, and there's no issues in terms of striking the flight stack, at least on my build. Although if you have a taller stack, you might have an issue with this particular frame, as I think it was originally designed for 2.5-inch props. Now, as you know, that I've already built a smaller version of the Lora frame previously on my channel. This is the 2-inch version of the Lora frame, and I had some trouble getting this frame built because I had some issues with a part that I was working on this particular on the bigger frame, and it wasn't working. So this build got delayed. So what I did was I took all the parts out of that other build, and I essentially just took all of the pieces out of the Strider X2, and then the non-advanced version. So I got actually two iFlight Strider X2s, and one was with an all-in-one camera, and the other one was with the advanced version with the microswift. And so since I still have the advanced version, I wasn't flying the standard version with the all-in-one camera. I decided to pull all the parts out of that frame and stick it into this frame because I knew all those parts were working. So what you end up here has those iPower 1106 6000 kV motors, and you get the 10 amp 4-in-1 AC, the Omnibus F3 flight controller, and of course I took off the video transmitter, all-in-one video transmitter. That camera's not on here, of course. And this frame, the Lora frame, supports this pod on top here that you can put your basically like your CCD, micro CCD camera, plus your receiver and a video transmitter. But in my particular case, I just used a separate video transmitter here, and I just put it on top of the flight controller, and then I'm running my video cables up to the camera, and then I have my receiver back here zip tied to the standoff, along with the buzzer that came with the iFlight Strider X2. Now it's a pretty simple build. You just basically screw down your flight stack to the frame, and then solder on your motors. These are, of course, I pulled it over from our previous build, so these are already soldered on. And mount the motors, and then you just have to run all your wires for your FPV system to the flight controller, your video in, video out for the OSD, for the camera and the video transmitter, and then you need a connection for your receiver, and that's going to be, where is that? That's right there, I believe. That's pretty much it. I'll list all of the parts down in the description. Basically, this is a pretty common stack here. You can get that a lot of different places. It's an Omnibus F3 with an OSD, Betaflight OSD, and 10 amp 4-in-1 AC. That's not a big deal there. And then I'll list a few different part options for motors, because you can go with these 1106 motors, or you can go with 1104, 1105 motors for these 3-inch props if you want to go with these GemFan 3035s. They're pretty efficient props. Flew it on 2S because I wasn't too sure about these 10 amp ECs. If you want to go 3S, maybe you should get a flight stack that has like a 20 amp ESC, just to be safe. I wasn't 100% sure, so I decided to be safe and just run 2S on it. And I think it flies plenty fast on 2S with these 3-inch props and these 1106 motors. This particular camera here is the Mars the T70 camera I'm testing out. It's you'll see the other video on the video quality. It's pretty good, although the barrel of the lens here is really long. You see I have the camera all the way back here. The nice thing about this frame is you can have different cameras with different lens focal lengths, and you can adjust the distance the camera goes back, and also the angle. And usually the camera lens is protected if you set it this way, but this particular camera lens is really long. I've been told that they're going to come out with a shorter lens for the production version. This is a pre-production version, so I'm just testing this out, and you'll just see the video from that. Obviously, there's plenty of these micro cameras available now that are in the 19 by 19 form factor, so I'll list a few down in the description if you want to choose from that. You can get microswift or the micro arrow, etc., etc. So there's a ton out there. So that's pretty much it. I would recommend, if you want to go 3 inches on this, you want to stick with 25mm standoffs. You could go 20mm, but then I think you run a risk of hitting this top plate here with 3-inch props. If you go a 2.5-inch prop, you can obviously bring the stack all the way down to probably 20mm without any issues. So, but it's a nice little frame, flies well. So the bottom plate is only 2mm thick, so that could be an issue for durability and crashes. However, as you know, FlexRC has a very good policy with their warranty, and so if you break it, they will replace the bottom plate here for you. But obviously, I probably would prefer to see something like 2.5mm or 3mm thick bottom plate, just because even doing a warranty exchange takes time. You have to swap parts out and everything. Although it is fairly, I would say it's fairly stiff. It's decent carbon, but wish it were more than 2mm. Okay, so this is how much my particular build came out to. It's about 85 grams, which is not too bad for all the stuff that's on here, and it is running 3-inch props. Anyway, in terms of the setup, I'm running Betaflight 323. I flashed the ESCs to the latest Betaflight S16.7. I am running my reverse props as I normally do on all of my builds. I believe I'm running just the stock Betaflight PIDs from 323 on here, and I was pretty surprised that I didn't have to do any tuning at all. It flew really well out of the box on 2S with this setup here. So if you happen to get something similar with these props, I think it'll probably be fine on the stock Betaflight PIDs. I didn't have to change anything, and I thought it flew pretty well. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you some flight footage. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.